West Coast, so cold, the streets we call home. Lost souls in a world that's so cold. Started at the bottom, we don't need no one.
Aye. Been with my girl since day one, don't give a fuck from the fake ones. Yeah, I've been on the grind, that grind don't stop till they pick me up or put me in a box. We come from nothing, been through the struggle, that's real, yeah that's real. And don't talk to me about trenches, cause we've been through them all. Hit a rough patch, had holes in the wall. Got a couple kids in the picture now, we gotta pick shit up just to make them proud. Still these groks wanna chat crap, trying to act bad. I remember 15 trying to get to a bag, now 23 trying to get to a stack. Need to feed my fam, that's facts, ayy. Yeah, we come from nothing, broken homes with nowhere to go. Streets to streets and they...
Hey guys, Jake here from Bogans on a Budget for part 2 of installing an oil pressure gauge on an Ecotec Commodore. So, when I last left you guys, I told you I was going to run my wiring that goes to the gauge. I'll just sort out the stand here, tripod, put it back in. So, I did run the wiring, and the way I did that, I worked out the easiest, most simplest way. I've got it on the gauge pod here, just sitting in there for test purposes, but as you can see there's those two there. That one dangling, I still have to work out where I'm going to position that button. But as for the other two, I've just got them running down behind here. I then bring them out in front of the cluster, across the cluster, down a blank spot to here. So that's for the one that goes to the fuse box. The other one, you know, same thing, goes behind here and goes down under the dash to here and then out the firewall. So it's just the most simplest and easiest route. You know, with the stuff that you've only got a limited amount of wiring, like this one for instance, you don't want to, you know, go too far around a maze. So that's situated there near the fuse box. Now for the white cable off the gauge, you have to run to a straight power source. Just for illustration purposes today, I'm going to show you putting it to the battery. Because this car does have airbags, it usually has its own fusible link that sits here, which is where I'll eventually move it to. But today, just for you guys, I'll put it to the battery. Exact same thing really. So yeah, we'll get on with feeding that wire and we'll crack on. So what I'm going to use today, guys, is 7.5 amp cable. I'm choosing red just because I know that it's a power. So basically, you know, just do a rough measurement from, say, where the cabling is going to be for your gauge, you know, to your battery. So you know, otherwise, if you want to measure it properly, you can feed it through the firewall and then do it that way. It's probably the smarter option really. So I'm going to use the same hole that I ran the sensor wiring through the firewall there next to the blue boost gauge, just because they're still fairly open. and easy to get to from inside the car. So we'll just feed that through. Now just rip around the other side and pull it through. Okay, so now I've got that to a length that I'm happy with inside the cabin. You know, I can roughly go, alright, yep, let's say about here. So I'm going to cut it about there. Now with my fancy strippers, they're like a ratchet type, I'm going to take this, I'm going to strip the end. As you can see, simple as, give the wire a twist. And then I'm going to stick a ring terminal on it. Now, I don't know if you can see that. Wire's a little bit long, so you can shorten it if you really want to. You don't have to, but I will just a smidgen. Then I take my Fandangle ratchet and crimpers, and we just crimp that on there. Now what I usually do, just as an extra precaution, that bit of wire that hangs out the end, a bit of a dark spot here, but that bit of wire that hangs out the end of the terminal, I usually solder that to the terminal itself. That way, if the crimp ever comes undone or becomes loose, the wire is never going to pull out. But I'll do that at a later stage. As you can see, it's fairly taut. Then guys, it's just a matter of, you know, how you want to run it. Obviously for me, I'm a neat freak, so I'll sort of run it up behind things. Try and hide it a bit, I suppose you could say. And then guys, it's just a matter of once everything else is hooked up in the cabin, you take this terminal and put it on the battery. So I'll just undo the tripod, put all the legs up. We'll go back inside the car and I'll show you what I've done in here. So, one thing that I don't like about the adapters is when you buy them, they have these squish connectors on them, where it's just you feed a line in from each end and just squish them together. I don't really like them because one, they tend to come loose, and two, they're just very permanent, so if you ever want to remove the stuff, you're just cutting the cord rather than just unplugging it. So I've opted to cut them off and put on bullet connectors. So that's the female end of a bullet connector on the adapter itself, and then on each of these I'll have the male bullet connector. So we'll do that now. I'll just raise you up a bit actually, a bit low. So we'll just take this, slide our bullet on, and silly me, forgot my, oh no I didn't, take our ratcheting crimpers. So you can pick these up from almost anywhere. I got mine from Jaycar. They make life so much easier. Slide it into the red section and crimp away. Now that's still a bit loose, unfortunately. The problem with, the only fault I have with SAS gauges, or any gauges for that matter, is their wiring gauge is so fucking small. So it's really hard to use any type of crimpers. Yeah, bit of a pain in the butt, but you got to try and work with what you got, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, I've got a few of them, so I may even just redo that one. Just fold this up a bit more, see if that resolves it. Make the wire a bit, in turn make it a bit thicker. Take two. Still slightly loose, but what I might just do anyway is drop a little bit of solder in just in this gap here where the wire shows through. I'll do that later though, I don't want to hold you up. So then it's just a matter of bullet connecting the rest of them. Now that's the red one we had prepared earlier to go to the white. So now this little thing here, that's like a guide for how long or how much wire you want stripped. So obviously you bring it in, the less that's going to get stripped, you bring it out, the more that'll get stripped. So I'm going to bring that one in a little bit this time. I'm going to put a bullet connector on that. So I'll use a female. And nice and tight. So now we can get a couple more. We'll go one on the white and then put a ring terminal on the black.
Did you make condensed mayonnaise? No.
I've got the mustard.
So that one's pretty loose as well. So, like I said, I'll solder them anyway. And then it's just a matter of the black one. I will leave that for now because I may end up lengthening it a little bit. Not 100% sure yet. But for now, they're on there. So then it's just a matter of I'm going to trim the edge of the bullet connector because the end has shrunk a little bit. So I'm just going to trim that. Just got to find something to lean on. Well, it reached to the floor. Not quite. So just trim that up a little bit so that it's opened up again. So just so I can show you that it works, I'll put these on. Right, so that's all on there. Then we just have a look at this and go, okay. Then what the black is ground, obviously. Yellow to park light circuit. So what I'm going to do is put that onto into the fuse box in the park light spot. So that will be, let me just adjust the camera. So for the park light spot, that's this 10 right at the top on the left. So we'll pull that out. And then what we do is we grab this, we replace the 10 amp in here. And we put that in the 10 spot, just like so. And then the red, we want red to ignition 12 volt. So I'm going to put that in the spot where the ignition fuse is, which is 7.5, second from the bottom. So that one there, we'll pull that one out. And again, we replace the 7.5 into the adapter. And slot it in the original spot like so. Now we'll go connect the battery. And we'll just grab 10-minute spanner. Because so we'll just sit that firmly on there. So there's your eyelet. That's the one that runs to the white wire. Now, if it's all hooked up correctly, I might just grab a camera in for this. A set of extra hands might be handy. So I'll get him to hold the black on that little screw down there as the earth, and there we have it. The gauge is on. So as you can see, it's a bit hard to see because it's red, but it is on. Oops. So there you go. It's not going to read the pressure obviously because the engine's not running. And at this stage, if you watch the installing the new engine episodes, that job isn't quite finished yet, but so that's why it's not reading an actual pressure. but nonetheless it is on. So there you have it, guys. I've tried to make it as simple as I possibly could, but yeah, that's installing your gauge, and then obviously with an engine that's ready to run, it will show the pressure. Alright, hope you enjoyed it, guys. Bogans on a budget, Jake. Cam. Have fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like the video. If you don't, let us know why. If you have any suggestions, any questions, anything, just put it in the comment section and let us know. Bye, guys. Hey guys, Jake here from Bogans on a Budget. Just a quick update for the oil pressure gauge install. Now, originally I said to run the ignition wire over to the 7.5 here, which is like on the fuse box description is the ignition. Now, unfortunately, with that one in there, the gauge was just on full time. We don't want that, obviously. We want it to turn on and off with the key. So I've moved it from here over to here, which is like the give me a sec. I'll check the diagram. So yeah, I've moved it from what was ignition and up to 1, 2, 3, the fourth one down, 1, 2, 3, which is cruise control, power mirror and memory seats. So might sound odd, but with it in there, the gauge turns on and off as per it should. I've also put the eyler on the negative. I actually lengthened it a bit and put an eyler on it. So that's just going to the screw there. So I'll just show you again. Key on. Where are we? Key on. And gauge turns on. It's a lot brighter in that spot as well. So, and off. Key on. Key off. So yeah, as I said, top one, which is your yellow wire, goes in. I've got going into the instrument illumination park lamp fuse area, and then the red one into cruise control, power mirrors and memory seat spot, and the gauge works as per normal. Once, as I said, there is also other episodes on installing the new supercharged motor. As you can see, not quite finished yet. There'll probably be a couple more episodes on installing that. Once that's done, I'll do a quick couple-minute update on showing you how the oil pressure gauge works. And like I said, off that sensor there. So once the engine's up and running, I'll give you an update on the oil pressure gauge working. Alright, bye guys, catch ya.